Oi, oi, hello and welcome to day 3, all my bets for Ascot. Now I'm recording this at 5 to 5, so there's a few races still left to go. Not I want to gloss over today's stuff, but I'll quickly just sweep over it instead. Obviously, Illinois I suggested was a potential bet, went in and won, and I gave a good shout to Moorlam. I know the way I talked about it in the video, I was looking for some little in and out ones. I did manage to sort of free roll trade a couple of them, but did a Twitter Spaces with Daryl this morning, which I don't think we're going to continue to do, unfortunately. But did mention that I thought Moorlam at a reasonable price would go well, so that was real close, wasn't it? I did my first forecast trycast in, I'm not even joking, years. Had first, third, and fourth in that race, where it probably would have paid 10 grand. But we are where we are, right? Still in the play spot. I mean, it might not be in 9 more minutes. But the reason we're here is for day 3's worth of bets. So I'll share the screen as per. I'll put a link in the description to the day 3 cheat sheet. If you've already clicked it before, unfortunately, the quotes that have been put in the image were actually incorrect. So just make sure you go back to the link so you can get the most up-to-date one in there. But they've been helpful to sort of whittle down some of the races so far. As I say, for the play spot perspective, or even if you've just got a handful of selections and you want to whittle it down, can be useful. Take it with a pinch of salt, though, right? Your own opinion's in there, but, you know, it can help form a bit of a case or explain in a market why something's shorter than you think it is or potentially bigger than you think it should be. So, as always, make sure you're liking the video. Appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe. Appreciate that. And drop a comment below, because I do read them all. Do like those. So let me know what you fancy and how your week is going. Right, let's share the screen. First race is the Norfolk Stakes, Group 2. We've got Whistle Jacket versus Shareholder. Pretty much a clash between the two of them, given that Shareholder, I did talk about this horse on debut, was getting weight, but from a breeding perspective, I don't think it's bred for 5 furlongs. Did a lot wrong, still won the race, but narrowly won. You know, I was a short head away from potentially being right, but also being wrong in the fact that he ran well in defeat. So I don't think I was too far off with it being his trip, but you know, got a bad draw potentially within here. Just on the last few run-ins of this, or the last 10, there hasn't been a winning favourite since 2008. Take those with however you want, right? We've got an even money favourite. We're probably due a favourite, might be the argument people might make in there. But, you know, yeah, it's been a bad race of favourites. 8 of the last 10 winners had won a race. So, again, that's not going to really whittle any of them down. 7 of the last 10 winners were priced 8 to 1. But, again, that goes in sort of line with the last winning favourite. We've had a couple of second favourites or a few in the last 10. Just where we are with that. Now, it's interesting, I'd say, more than anything. Whistle Jacket looks quick, but the early form from earlier this week potentially doesn't look so good with the Coward of the County, but then that did run all right, didn't it? And then Shareholder, like I say, I'm not 100% sure. I would have thought they could have been closer in the market between the two of them, if I'm honest with you. This will be a race I will probably sit out from a betting perspective, because I half don't want to bet Shareholder because I know this shouldn't be the trip. Good to Firm now with the penalty won't like have the benefit of getting £6, I think it was, from moving forward. So it is a 25 to 1 poke by the side of it. I wouldn't be surprised if Shareholder won this. I wouldn't be surprised if Whistle Jacket won it. I don't really want to decide between the two. I don't really want to play a bet. I know people would say 4 places up for grabs. You might want to play it each way. Maybe you do want to do that, but from my perspective, I will be leaving the race alone. Plenty more to get stuck into, though, right? King George Stakes, a heritage handicap. We love a good heritage handicap. Always reminds me of Graham, the 4-man list. Did the Dandy Nap lead, didn't he? Oh, geez, what a man. This would have been the sort of race he'd have loved to get stuck into. I mean, probably a little bit higher class than he would want to be getting in with. But again, just a quick whittle off of the stats, right? So this actually did help me quite a bit. Anyway, you can see there's a horse here on loads of blue on Odds Checker. I got the boy. I'll be getting him in 20 minutes. I can't go and get to Hills now, which is where I would normally go and have the bet. But the 15 to 2 about him, I think, will be gone. I'll sit back and hold fire now. I haven't bet this one yet, but I will be betting Gilded Water for definite. And I do like Shanti as well. Bumped into King Gambit last time. A real plot. I say a plot, was just a very well handicapped horse. And Persica, who does reoppose here, was behind and then went and won after. Was a good winning horse at Epsom, and Shanti's only up £3 from that. So Shanti and Gilded Water, I would play the pair against the field. I think they've both got right chances. So how I'll stake that, I'm not sure. It could be a 25 each way on each of them, because they are each way prices and there are places up for grabs. But I'll do something with those two for definite. But on the statty stuff, 8 of the last 10 winners were rated between 90 and 94. 8 of the last 10 winners had 2 or more runs that season. 8 of the last 10 winners had won that season, but one of them hadn't even run, so you can't have won. 8 of the last 10 winners had been beaten that season as well. 8 of the last 10 winners carried 9 stone 1 or less. It's 9 stone 3 and 9 stone 6 for the other two. Gilded Water ticks the boxes for everything on there, so he's the absolute money shot in terms of that. And from a form perspective, going into handicap on handicap debut after rousting some horses last time, Be a winner for the King as well. Not that that makes a difference, but Christ, I can see Gilded Water being a bit of a smash-up job, which then might make Chantilly a bit of a price. So I haven't bet them yet, but I will go and have each way on the pair of them probably. Feels a bit safe pussy-ish, doesn't it? But we get a big handicap like this. We've got 6-1, both of them, hopefully, and we're getting 6 places up for grabs. Like, it feels relatively lowish risk. It'll be something along those lines anyway. Ribblesdale Stake, the 345 Group 2 for fillies. Now, this is a nice race, right? We've got previous winners of this where I don't think it's been as good renewals, to be honest with you. 7 of the last 10 favourites have finished in the top 2. 2 of them have won that. 8 of the last 10 winners were trained by either John Gosden or Aidan O'Brien. 9 of the last 10 winners had an official rating of 94 plus, but 5 were 103 plus. So, like, that's where I'm talking about the real decent ones. 6 of the last 10 winners were first or second favourites, and I've already touched on that 2 of them were favourites. And 7 of the last 10 had 2 or more runs this season. Now, Diamond Raid is relatively short, not trained by John Gosden or Aidan O'Brien, but Christ, she's quite a way bit clear on rating. She's rated 106. I don't know if Kalpana is the next one in, but Kalpana is rated 95. For example, sorry, he's rated 104. There's a few that are rated in the 90s after it, but a lot of the field are rated 94 plus, so we tick the box on that one. Yeah, so it's just a reasonably good looking race, to be honest with you. I will be, I know with the trend stuff there, right? Everything's saying the first couple in the betting and things like that as well. Like 6 last 10 have been the first or second favourite. I do respect both of them. I do think Diamond Rain could be a bit of a weapon, but I'm tempted to have a little bit of a look at. I like Rubies Are Red. You look at the Illinois race, right, which is slightly different. But when that ran in the Derby Trial Stakes, obviously came out and ran really well here. This ran in the Lingfield Stakes, and I thought was given a bit of a bad ride. Now, obviously, didn't do the business in Epsom in the Oaks, and this is the same trip as well. But it was that trial run was quite good. Obviously, Ryan's not on board; he's on Port Fairy. Port Fairy, I think, has a first-time visor. There's a couple of those horses that have him there as well. Ran really well at Chester. Just, like, looks a nice type, and you'd be criminal to say that Ryan Moore's got it wrong. But I'd be tempted to look at playing Port Fairy and Ruby's Red. Small stakes, play the pair against the field. It may even be another opportunity where I might say, do you know what, I actually could probably play a couple of those each way, but I don't know. It would be a small, interesting type stuff because the ones at the top could just be much better. Like Diamond Rain could be really good, but I'm just a tiny bit worried that some of these could be really good horses. Haven't really come to fruition just yet, but I know these are all individuals, so it shouldn't have bearing on the next one. Right, I won't bother with stats on this one because it doesn't suit my narrative that I want to give Vauban a chance in here. 2 mile 4 gold cart. We have got question marks about the trip for him, but it's sort of innocent into proven guilty for me. I don't think I've seen anything that would suggest he wouldn't stay. So we'll see how he goes. I've bet him. I've had 50 quid each way already. I've got 8.5, so 15-2. Bet365 boosted that up, so I had some money in there, did that. A little bit annoyed I can't get 4 places, to be honest with you, because I'd like the extra security. I'd take a little bit smaller price as well. But Kyprios is obviously a weapon. We know how good Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore are, but I just don't think he's been as good in those last couple of runs as everyone's making out. His RPRs aren't anywhere near what his best is. He may not need to be his best to do it, but who knows? Gregory obviously won the Queen Vase, which is what... Illinois won today. Will come on from his first run, as will Vauban. The pair of those will step forward. I believe in Vauban. I believe that he's a wrongish sort of price. And I feel like a lot of this happens with the National Hunt horses that I don't necessarily think they're given the respect they deserve. Now, I know there's lots of people that are anti this and very much I will think I'm seeing it through rose-tinted glasses, which I could well be, but I'm betting him. I think he's a reasonable price. I would hope, I would imagine that he could be short, right? I think Kyprios will be popular. I guess the right Shrewdies will want to smash him. Could be a bit like an August Rodin thing, like he's just too good a horse that will just go and win the race. But I can see him getting a little bit bigger. Gregory could be popular or not, but yeah, I'm not sure about him. And then Vauban, I don't know. I feel like he should be a little bit shorter. So it's a competitive race. It's a deep enough race. Like I said, I'd rather there were 4 places and I'd feel safe in there because I can see him running really well if he doesn't stay and still getting a place, like I say, probably top 4. Or if he really does stay, I think he's a bit of a weapon. And if he does show what he was supposed to be showing in Melbourne, which he didn't show, he could well win this. So at the price, I'm more than happy to take the swing on him. I do get that I'm probably a little bit swayed with him, but I don't know. I think people are writing him off a little bit too soon. And fair play to them if they are right, but I don't know. I don't think you could be definitive prior. Obviously, in hindsight, after they could be right. It's a game of opinions, right? It's probably getting the price that we're getting. The Britannia Stakes, another heritage handicap. This is a race where I could whittle it down to a few off of the stats, but there was one I already had on my shortlist anyway. So the one that I already had on my shortlist anyway is Skakusa for Ed Dunlop. We've got William Buick booked in, so that's a nice positive jockey booking. The Newmarket handicap that this horse won last time was easy, like pure ready fire winner. Only went up £5 for that, and I know it's Newmarket. The 3 runs have come out Newmarket, but if he does translate his form somewhere else, 14 to 1 about him is a massive price. I'll get this up because I've got the shortlist, so you can have a look at them. I haven't done the others that came up on the shortlist because they weren't on my radar so much before. But there's Vercors, Dashing Darcy, Arctic Thunder. Curiously, those 2 same owners. Who knows? Could perm some of them up for Paul's bits. But the Britannia Stakes, we've had it in the last. Where we've had 9 of the last 10 winners carried 9 stone 3 or less, which is why these have been amalgamated in here. 3 or 4 runs that season, the other one had none. 9 of the last 10 winners came from stall 10 or higher, and 7 was stalls 10 to 19. This is what I'm saying about Skakusa. Right bang in the right draw area as well. Bit like Real Game, just fluke with the draw, right? 7 out of the last 10 winners were rated between 90 and 95, which helps with that band of the weight carrying, but that's where they are. And they'd won a race this season. They were priced 10 to 1 plus, which probably is a lot of the runners, right? 2 more races we'll go through. Hampton, so yeah, I haven't bet in the Britannia Stakes yet. That's Skakusa. I will bet it. I will have that. I'll have that one 25 each way probably on that. Extended places do look available. Hampton Court Stakes, King's Gambit. I've already touched on this horse earlier. We'll obviously have a bit of a line form going through that with Shanti. Persica's already come out and won. This looks like a race where I think King's Gambit would be my most ideal type of a winner. Fits the profile on the trends as well. Not that I would necessarily be so fussed about them in this particular race, but needs an official rating of 105 plus. Has won a race this season. First, second, or third favourite, and 3 of those winning 7 were favourites. And they've run within the last 35 days. So ticks all the boxes. 7 to 4 about him. Might be a little bit tight. I'd hope I could get some 2 to 1-ish about that on the exchange. But I would happily play this one. I don't think I'll be going big on this one. Somewhere in the realms of 50 quid, maybe 25, 50 in that sort of number. I want a bit of a bigger price one. I could probably let him go and win if he's 6 to 4 or shorter by the time it comes to tomorrow. So I'd leave that till the day. But I'm hoping I can get 50 on him around about 2s. We'll see where we stand with that. I do like him. It's just these horses that come up handicaps that go to these types of races. It is only a listed race, but yeah, they've still got to go and prove they can do it. But I think the form is starting to stack up for that one. And he did look like a better horse than a handicapper last time out as well. The Buckingham Palace Stakes, the last race, the handicap is a bit of a tricky one. We had this race cancelled for a few years, 2015 to 2019. So it's hard for the stats to really stick up just using those. I could have gone back a little bit further, but then it's a different type of race, right? So the last 5 winners were all 12 to 1 plus. 4 of the last 5 were 4-year-olds, so I'm looking for a 4-year-old. Had 3 plus runs that season, so I'm looking for horses run plenty. And they were drawn 24 plus, and then the other one was drawn in 2. So I've whittled this down to a bit of a short list. Plenty of people will know that I like this Mustabshir for the season, but he doesn't tick the box in there, and I want to leave him alone now. Think sort of had enough with him. The short list gets itself down to these 4. So Make Me a King, carrying or wearing first time cheap pieces, Finn's Charm, Divine Libra, and then the XO. So that'll be my radar type horses. How I play those, I'm not fully sure. So as much as this is in all my bets video, I'm not striking them until the day really with these ones. And I've got the Vauban bit in there, but we'll leave them. The liquidity in these types of markets on the flats does suit better to bet the day after, especially if you get any non-runners overnight. The percentages they get taken out on Betfair tend to be much worse than if you bet with a rule 4 with the bookmakers. It tends to be much better to do that. So that's those. Like I say, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribed if you're not already. Drop a comment on what you fancy, or just to say, hey, Dave, and I will catch you all again tomorrow for Friday's bets. In a bit.